You won't believe these old pregnancy myths. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. There are no hospitals, no ultrasound machines, no pregnancy test kits, no blood reports, no doctors explaining what's happening inside your body. You're pregnant, but you cannot see the baby. You cannot hear its heartbeat through a monitor. You cannot Google your symptoms. You cannot ask a specialist. All you have are stories. Stories passed down from mothers, grandmothers, neighbors, village elders, stories whispered in candlelight. Stories spoken with certainty, even when no one truly knew the truth. And some of those stories were shocking. Today, we laugh at old pregnancy myths. But if we go back just a few centuries, these beliefs were not jokes. They shaped decisions. They controlled behavior. They created fear. And sometimes, they gave comfort in a world full of danger. Because pregnancy, for most of human history, was not just magical, it was terrifying. Let's step back into that world. Long ago, people believed that a mother's thoughts could physically shape her unborn child. If a pregnant woman saw something frightening, a violent accident, a wild animal, a shocking scene, it was said the baby might be born with marks or deformities connected to that moment. If she was startled by fire, perhaps the child would have red birthmarks. If she saw a rabbit, some believed the baby might be born with a split lip. If she experienced extreme sadness, people feared the baby would carry that sorrow in its body. This belief became known as the idea that a mother's imagination could imprint on the fetus, and it was taken very seriously. Families tried to protect pregnant women from disturbing sights. They limited what they saw. Sometimes they limited where they went. Not because they wanted control, but because they were afraid. Today we understand genetics. We know how DNA determines physical traits. We understand how organs develop in stages inside the womb. But centuries ago, none of that knowledge existed. When a child was born with a birthmark or a physical condition, families searched for meaning. The human mind hates randomness. So people connected events, and the myth survived for generations. In many cultures, the sky itself was considered dangerous for pregnant women. Solar eclipses, those rare moments when the sun disappears, were once seen as terrifying cosmic warnings. Imagine living in a time when the sun suddenly darkens in the middle of the day without scientific explanation. No astronomy textbooks. No news alerts explaining the event. Just darkness. In several traditions, pregnant women were told never to look at an eclipse. It was believed that doing so could cause birth defects. Some thought babies could be born with cleft lips. Others believed limbs could be affected. Protective rituals were created. Some women covered their stomachs with metal objects. Others stayed inside with curtains closed. Some tied special threads around their wrists or wore certain colors. It may sound dramatic now. But when nature feels mysterious and uncontrollable, people create rituals to feel safe. Pregnancy and eclipses were both unknowns. So they became linked in fear. Then there was the warning that still exists in many homes today. Don't raise your arms too high. Pregnant women were told not to stretch upward, not to hang clothes, not to reach for high shelves. Because if they did, people believed the umbilical cord could wrap around the baby's neck. This myth traveled across countries and generations. Even now, some women hear this from older relatives. Scientifically, the movement of a mother's arms has nothing to do with the umbilical cord. The cord flows in amniotic fluid. Babies move naturally inside the womb. If the cord loops around the neck, which sometimes happens, it is due to fetal movement, not the mother's stretching. But imagine a time when stillbirths were common. When a baby was born without life, families searched for something to blame. Did she reach too high? Did she lift something? Did she move too much? Blame feels easier than helplessness. So the myth stayed alive. Food has always carried meaning. Pregnancy cravings fascinated people long before science explained hormones. Families watched what the mother wanted to eat as if it were a secret code. If she craved sweets, sugar, fruits, desserts, People whispered, "It's a girl," if she wanted salty or sour food, pickles, meat, spices. They confidently said, "It's a boy." Entire conversations were built around cravings. Before ultrasound machines, this guessing game brought excitement to families waiting for the baby's arrival. But cravings are influenced by hormonal shifts, nutritional needs, and even emotional comfort. They are not secret gender signals. Still, even today, when someone pregnant reaches for chocolate or pickles, someone nearby will smile and make a prediction. Some myths survive not because they are true, but because they are fun.